Well, this kind of came out unexpected. So, this is the Roadmap 2021 that was recently out by Neki today, and I want to share, guys, some closing thoughts about it myself and speak of what is the plan for 2021 in Shadow Fight 3. We've already gotten a smaller hints from the FAQs that I've been talking about. I did a recent FAQ on Shadow Fight 3 lately right here, but now we actually have a plan that the developers have been made from, well, we have a plan that the developers have made right here in front of us. So welcome, Shadow Fighters, to yet another Shadow Fight 3 video where I'm going to be talking about the Roadmap 2021. And this roadmap right here, again, got out today, and already shows us what's gonna be going on with the Shadow Fight 3 game. And compared to 2020 roadmap, this one is definitely more compressed than the roadmap 2020. We saw more windows, and it was showing more in detail and what kind of features they want to add. So it was a little bit more ambitious, that one, in 2020, because the developers thought they could speed up the process. But really, they're in an office. They could even work from home and connect the internet together and work with a broad network and still do fine relatively. But now they realize that they didn't manage to do every single aspect into the roadmap 2020. So therefore, they put some of those aspects down here, and we can definitely notice some of them at least. Well, while some of the aspects do repeat itself because they want to fill the game with that kind of aspect more than others, we have different kinds of plans that the developers have for us. So looking down in the 6 points of Roadmap 2021, we're going to be starting off with Marcus's plane. Now, this is of no surprise. We already finished Etus plane. That was their main goal objective. They did introduce the Etus plane late time this year, and they already finished it in not too long ago with the Etus plane part 3, and I already finished it myself, even though I didn't make a complete video sequence about it myself. But you guys can still check it out if you guys want to. Just scroll down a little bit, or I'll just provide the link. Next thing I'm going to be talking about, well, should I actually wait a little bit right there? Marcus's plane. Because in Marcus's plane, we may have a much easier time into collecting more stability. I might be wrong. Maybe it's going to be the same way of collecting stability whilst trying to level up. And what other kinds of features is going to be added? We definitely do know that the developers have considered adding boss abilities, in which we did experience in Itu's play in that one battle we play as Bolo Itu against the stranger, which is the real us descendant. That was the only one round we get to use those boss abilities, and the developers have taken into consideration, according to the FAQ video that I covered not too long ago, that they will consider this into the future quests that they are going to be doing. But perhaps doing it as a part of a set bonus would give a little bit more unique aspect into it. It gives it a little bit more uniqueness, and also the, now I can't think of that word now. Usually dynamics, make it more dynamic. That was the word I was looking after. So anything that can happen in that Marcus plane is going to be, well, definitely stability, but the way to get stability might be changed. And so, whatever I told before. Next on is the new events. Now, is there anything much about it to say, really? It's just new events. Really. Whatever the developers might want to introduce in the new events, such as different kinds of mechanics, different ways to undergo events, and the corresponding marathons. We already know that events have the corresponding marathons, plus shops, plus booster packs, but they're trying to do it in a different way so that each event has their own unique way to approach it, so that this way, if they plan thoroughly with whatever new event that they're developing, they're planning thoroughly on how they want to design this event, they actually design it to have its own soul. That's why they're doing a unique way for us to approach the kind of event, although some might look similar than others. if you think on marathons, it might be gameplay, might be some small aspect, but they try to separate the approaches during gameplay in the events. Other than that, the subject right here about new events, for me, it's completely open. That's my closing thoughts about new events. And now we go into the new thing that they're going to be introducing, the new feature called seasonal adventures. I have little to no idea of what the seasonal adventures could be, but what I could say is the seasonal adventures might be something kind of related to events that's going to give some more rewards. So this is another branch for the players to have a chance to collect some rewards by doing these kinds of seasonal adventures, or maybe it's some kind of side storyline that we can undergo and then get some rewards from there. Whatever it is, it's going to be a branch that helps to expand the collection. That's all I'm going to say about this. And then we have social features, which is something that they didn't complete in 2020, so therefore they put it in 2021. Apparently they haven't given up on it, because we've already seen most of these social features in the roadmap 2020, and the roadmap 2020 showed more in detail of what those social features are, like clans, chat, etc., and raids, I think it was, if there was even that. So since they didn't complete those social features, since they were never implemented into the game in 2020, they decided to bring it over to 2021 to have another go, see if they can actually implement all of these. So social features, I actually thought about one thing about social features, and that is giving booster packs to your friends so that they could boost the collection. Now economically that could be kind of in disadvantage, but for our own party, we could then actually trade what we don't really need. For us right now, for me in my own predicament, I have every single thing in the game. Many of my items, or I start to get many of my items that go beyond what I can afford to upgrade with Shadow Energy, to where I actually have to get them through marathons, by marathons. You guys understand what I mean, hopefully, when I say that. So if the system's the same and they introduce friends, maybe if we could give booster packs, some other stuff that we might not need. Well, there isn't a lot other miscellaneous things that we can give. There's just booster packs. I don't know if there's anything else we can give to another user aside from that. Maybe there's gonna be something, I'm not entirely sure, but that's all I thought I have. So social features, let's see if they actually manage to implement those during the year right here. And then we go to two of my most interesting parts, the Ninjato new style. And as I have explained yesterday, this Ninjato new style have actually changed the voice. No, let me say it more simpler. When I actually went on the training mode yesterday, that's when I made the video about it, the drawing sound of Ninjato was changed from being whatever sound that makes, but it was the same as Sai. The intro animation was still the Sai, but the sound of the intro animation has changed into more metallic noise, I suppose to say. So with that being said, there was also the beta that I received from the developers, which had nothing in it, which I kind of suspected, since the previous beta test that I had didn't have any kind of new content for my own part. So seeing that we actually have changed the voice for the Ninjato by checking out the original game in the training mode that I currently have against Kitsnebot, yep, just listen to that noise, and I was thinking, looks like we're actually going to be getting some change after all. Maybe we're going to be getting Ninjato. The developers have said in one or two FAQs that the Ninjato was going to be implemented early this year. And we're on March, so chances are it might already be available during the update right here. Given that it's only 1.24.2, still, there is still a chance. Given that I already got into the game, original game, downloaded a 60 megabyte pop-up window update, and just heard this. That is, those small things can hint us toward the remarkable change that we're going to be getting. That's all I'm going to be saying for this. Now, for the last part for today, for last part of Roadmap 2021, they're going to be introducing big knives. And what I have to say about this is, well, I kind of think that they were going to be introducing myself out of the concept of Tonfa, Halberd, which is now cancelled by the developers, and we had those war axes or two-handed axes, and a couple more. I can't get on everything right now, but that's all I did. That's all I knew. So we got more blade weapons, and now we got even more blade weapons, but they're in the form of big knives. Looks like we're going to be stabbing people. In a morbid way to say it. We're going to be stabbing people, but think about it, we're actually going to be getting knives. We're going to be getting a new Legionary style, which is definitely going to be some new addition for the collection right here, which I definitely would love to try out, because we already got the Tishaku. That was confirmed. That was already part of the concept. So now we get implemented 2 other new faction weapons that's going to be having their own kind of sets, perhaps. By looking at the colors right here, they should have their own corresponding sets, I suppose, but I might be wrong. They might not have it yet, but I believe they still do. That's how they set up things. When they add new weapons, they're also going to add new corresponding sets. What I would like to think about, though, a small derail, is that they change the shadow abilities for the armor and the helmet. I've said this before, but separated the epic shadow abilities and the legendary gear shadow abilities each have their own shadow abilities. That's all I want. That's all I would like to hear. Or actually change. Because then the legendary items would have their own kind of set of abilities, while the other rarities have their own, while common is still excluded. So it's still excluded. It's like, poor common items, they don't get any shadow abilities. I mean, they could have their own shadow abilities though. But I guess the developers have considered common items to be like a little bit too peasant to even have shadow abilities. Who knows what their closing thoughts were when they decided that. But get back to the new style of knife. Big knives. Now, what kind of moves can you really do with big knives? I'm not really sure. Unlike what we've seen from Ninjato, and there was a lower attack animation that was posted on the Cascader programming software in the social media's Facebook. I actually looked at it. They did just a split and then a vertical slash. Not vertical, but a horizontal slash. And there was also several attacks, because we get to see the Ninjato style whenever you fought against Kitsune. Lower attack was that. Upper attack was jumping and swinging the blades. And the heavy attack was just using those 2 blades as some knives to try to stab the ground or trying to stab the feet. As several more of course. But knives, what can you really do with knives? But for one thing is, it's gonna make the Legionnaire extremely mobile when we really think about it. And that they can get very quick attacks with the knives, but it's gonna be on closer range. This is probably the closest range weapon in the Shadow Fight tree that they're going to be introduced, and they're going to be introducing it later this year. So that's all I had for the Roadmap 2021, and what I have to say is, well, I hope that the developers are going to be able to add everything in the game. That's all I have to say to the developers. If they manage to do it, then I'll be happy that they actually fulfilled the Roadmap 2021. But we don't know, things can change, and not everything may be completed. Maybe part of it might be completed because they're still focusing on the main storyline. I definitely know that's going to be made for sure, because given that they put this Marcus plane on a bigger image, larger image than anything else right here. But we also have Ninjato, which is going to be hinted to arrive right now, given the sound change in the dojo that I just listened to. And so several others we have little to no knowledge about. Well, we have 2 other info that we have sufficient knowledge about. So that's it for whatever I had to say about Roadmap 2021. That was my words of Roadmap 2021. And if you guys did enjoy my closing thoughts onto every aspect into this video, be sure to hit that like button to show support. And if you're new and enjoy my overall content, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll become a part of the Boston Money community, where we continue fighting some fighters in Shadow Fight 3 and Shadow Fight Arena. we're going to be definitely continuing, and I actually have 20,000 coins right now, so I'd be definitely able to upgrade 2 heroes. But I'm going to be extending the voting time a little bit before I actually want to upgrade those 2 heroes. So until then, guys, I'll catch you guys in another one.